Alright, so for today's little project, what I'm going to do is on Judy's boat. I'm going on the Eddyline Denali, which is a thermoplastic. I'm going to put a Keel Eazy keel strip on it. Basically what the Keel Eazy is a heavy gauge vinyl strip, self-adhesive. And what they show, if you watch their videos, pretty straightforward. Lay it down on the boat, center it up as well as possible, and then use a heat gun to help mold it into the places. And I'm going to do it ever so slightly different for some reason, because it's the way I do things. Is before I do anything, I'm going to lay down a piece of blue painter's tape down the center. That way I can get the center line and play with it and not be messing up what really ends up being like $6 a foot Keel Eazy strip. So I'll be able to lay this down with this blue tape, and then what I'll do is I'll take two smaller pieces like 1 inch and lay it down on each side. And that'll give me a workspace in between. And I'll take, they don't say to do this on the Keel Eazy website, but I'll take like a brown Scotch-Brite pad and scuff the boat up just a little. It's really pretty scuffed up already. There's not really a lot of glaze. I want to get that so it's dull, and I think just from previous experience of working with adhesives and stuff like that, that it'll tend to stick a little better. So what I'll do is I'll get the blue painter's tape down, and then I'll show you a little video after I get it done. You don't need to watch me put tape on, but I think it'll be much easier to center up and not have to worry about it being off center and being adjusting it. And then when I go to put the Keel Eazy strip on, I'll have a guide, and that should go much easier, I also think, too. Alright, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm not sure how this is going to come out, and I'll try to stay out of the way of the camera, but I was just going to show you a quick little trick about blue tape. You can see this curve here, but because this is so wide, you see how it's like joggy. So really, this is more flowing like to the long points. But when you're taping out with the thinner piece, actually, this will be the border of the strip that I'm going to put on. And it's not quite as important with this because it's a solid piece of material, but if this was like a gel coat or even paint, a trick to getting this tape to make the bend is not trying to pull it like this, but if you turn the tape at like a 90 to itself and just get that edge to lay down and walk it with your thumb or your finger and just keep it. I want a little gap here because the actual Keel Eazy is wider than the blue tape. And we're just going to work it point to point, and you keep that little angle there, and that'll let that edge bite and let the other edge catch a wrinkle. And then you use your thumb, hold it in a point, and see, we're going to get wide here, but we kept the gap here fairly consistent. And like I said, in this instance, this is more just a guide when I do a little bit of sanding, but when I lay that Keel Eazy on, I don't want to have to think about if I'm centered or not. I'll be able to tell instantly just by the tape. And you just keep working it a little bit. And another thing, don't stretch the tape. Don't pull real hard. Just keep it a little taut. And you'll find you can lay it right around the corner. And just keep working it with your thumb until you get it out of that corner. So you got all this gappage here, and just make sure this edge is secure. And then come down and just lay that down out of the way. And if you were painting, or when you do a gel coat keel strip, this would be actually your edge of your gel coat finish, and you would pull this off before the gel coat sets, but this is going to be your line, so if it's all bumpy and raggedy, that's how your edge will come out. And then basically all I'm doing, pull it this way a little bit, is I'm just running the tape down, and I'm just keeping 1/8 of an inch or so between the two pieces of tape. And I'm just going to work that out, and I'll just float my Keel Eazy strip out right in between it. I need to get up to see this. And when you're doing that long strip, just come every 4 or 5 inches, set it in a little bit, and then come up a little bit more and pull it back down, just keeping your gap. And you'll end up with something like that. Alright, It's just really hard to videotape this. I have it on a mount and it's just me. But we'll get in here a little closer. So you can see the gap's pretty consistent. You can see what I've done down the boat. So I'll show you when I pull the center strip out what I have left. Alright. Okay, so I got the strip on. And you can see there's just that little light gap between the blue. So I'm going to pull that center strip out. Now what I did, it's hard to see here at this end, we'll go to the other end, is I just took a piece of that 3-inch tape that I used in the center, because that's actually, just so you know, blue tape is not really 3 inches, it's slightly less, because I'm pretty sure they're doing it in metric, and that's the conversion. So what I did here is I took a piece of the 3-inch and I set it at this seam line from deck to hull right here, and I'll use this as my stopping point, and I'll probably just do a little radius cut on that and swoop it back. Now if this was a fiberglass keel that I was doing, this would all be right. There would be no, I would want to make absolutely sure that this edge and all this was taped in properly so that when I gel coated it, I could pull that off and I'd have my finished product. I tend to like them being more level with the boat or swooping back from here than to be angled up like a straight cut on the tape. So, and then the heat gun, the Keel Eazy, we're going to use a heat gun on it to help form it around here, because as you can see, when you make this bend, the Keel Eazy would do exactly the same thing and probably a little worse because it's heavier than tape. And when we lay the Keel Eazy out and we get it all secure, we'll come back right here is the skeg hole. And we'll cut that out after we secure it, but just to give you an idea. So now I'll pull that piece off, I'll scuff that up a little bit, I'll take some isopropyl alcohol, we'll clean it up, and we're ready to go try the Keel Eazy. Okay, so I just took the keel strip and I unrolled it and just temporarily tacked it just because I wanted length set on it, and I did not want to have to cut the round tips like that, you know, after I'm working with it. I want it all done and ready to go, and I'll start on one end and I'll just work it right down the kayak. And you can see I put a nice little chamfer here, and basically what I did, it's 3-inch wide tape, so I did 1.5 inch radius, and I actually cut a little cardboard template so I could just lay it on there and scribe both of them and cut them right out. Then I don't have to worry about messing anything up. So what I did find out was I did end up setting my tape still just a little close. I mean, I'm like barely a 1/16 too wide. So what I'll do is I'll stick down the center nice, get that all lined up, and then I'll pull the blue out and then I'll work the rest of it down. Over there. Okay, so I started laying it up a little bit. I wanted to get going, and then I'll try to get some. It's going to be really hard to film this. And already it looks like I'm a little bit longer than I thought, so I may end up being longer on my back. We'll see. Trim it at the back a little bit. I just didn't want to have to fuss with it. I have the heat gun going and 2 fans out here, just because it's probably 90+ degrees right now outside. I didn't want to be all sweaty on the coat. never going to hurt anything. So I'm ending up like a quarter-inch longer than I thought it was going to be. So in my world, that's perfect. Alright. So that's the initial part. So we got that lined up pretty good. And now what I'll do is I'll pull all the blue tape out and I can start rolling it down and laying it on the rest of the deck. Man, sorry for the video, but it's only me. Alright, so I guess I'm going to start up here. So I have this heat gun set at 650 in high fan. Not all heat guns are going to have those options. I just want to start rolling this and make sure I have no huge kinks in it. And I want to be careful because I really don't know what the melting point of the boat is. Let's see, she wears gloves, but I'll be honest, I like to feel it's not that hot yet. Sure it will be. I'm guessing this is really getting a little warm. how I didn't get this point down all the way. I had to work a lot on it to get it over and around. Let the stuff mold to it. This temperature seems to be relatively good for working it. Basically, I'm kind of just working it from the top down. Set down a little bit. It's getting pretty warm. Can't get that one piece down. To be honest, I don't think I'll ever get this one out. What I'm going to do is cut it, and then I'll lap it. Just going to make a little cut. Try to get this tight as I can. beam. This piece down here. See, there's where it starts right there. And I want this piece to wrap over like that. I'll tell you what. Right here. For the life of me, this nose will not sit down perfect. It's very high. Mostly I'm just worried about water getting under here. Sit for a little bit and see how that dries up. Look on this side. top. Okay. On the videos they do, it seems like they can get a lot more curve out of this than I'm getting out of it. But it just doesn't want to lay down. And I'm afraid that if you heat this too much, I can't tell, because I really didn't see it stated anywhere, at what point you start damaging the adhesive on it. And I mean, I've seen at some points where the adhesives has run out a little bit. In these, I would expect to stay down, these little ones. But I can see the adhesive right here. It would be nice as like a really heavy plastic squeegee. These laid down pretty good. You got to be careful you don't overheat them, because then they don't seem to want to stay down. And I really don't think this kayak has that great a curve right here. And look at mine, it almost turns to a 90 at a point. But I would never do this. Point blank, I would never do this on a fiberglass boat. I would spend a little bit more time and probably no more money and do fiberglass. So if I had something like this bigger, it would be nice to try to help lay this down. This hole here just keeps popping up on this side. Alright, rule number one, don't keep screwing with stuff like that. It doesn't get better. So let's see if we can get this heat gun off to the side. I don't want to stop it yet because I still may need it, but I don't want it anywhere dangerous. And I have to cut the keel or the skate box open. So I'm just going to plunge cut into here. Find this opening. Let's just do this real quick. Way back to here, just so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so that's the end. I'm just going to come in, make a little turn, try to keep this straight and about the same depth in, so I'm not going to worry about like just pulling out of the slot. Make a big scratch all the way down it. Is that showing up all right? This out of the way. Nice and easy around in here. Not wanting to go nice and easy. Let's get this side. bigger. Let's see what we got going on here. This is the way that's shaped. Just do a nice little clean cut. Like that. Perfect, it is not. Good, it is. Just gonna do a nice cut here. And I'm trying to bevel this edge. It was recommended on one of their videos. So I'm going to try to keep as close to what they were saying as possible. We'll come back and clean that glue up. Trying to make sure it just doesn't have any hang points. See, that laid really nice there. Alright, I'm going to try to use this wrench. Actually, it's a snap-on. Unlike Craftsman and stuff, it's pretty smooth all the way around. And I'm going to use it just like to burnish some of this down. Let's see if that helps. Piece just does not. Now I don't know if I'll ever get the pedal up over here too. Same thing. We're looking at this is the one that looked like the glue was coming out of. Let's go back to the other one and take a quick look. Let's go down to the other one and take a quick look. See how that comes out. Not too bad. See, there's one little bubble, two little bubbles. I think if I take this. Just work that a little bit. The other side's not too bad, actually. A little, some kind of hard burnishing tool work would be really nice. Piece here I'm trying to get right. I'll be honest, what I'm thinking of doing, not that I was going to lie, but I'm thinking I'm going to, on these couples where I haven't actually cut it and seamed it together, what I'm thinking is I'm going to put just a little drop of super glue right at the seam. See if that helps hold it together. Just to make sure this doesn't, there's a little hole here. I just want to make sure that works out alright. Little drop, put some tape down, put a little drop of super glue on there, same on all of them. All in all, it's not too bad. Here, let's take a quick walk. Take a look at it. Alright, let's take a quick walk down the kayak. So just to give you an idea, there's where I had to seam it. Not seam, but make a little relief cut. So on the back edge, and it won't really show, this is where the cut is. I think I'm just going to put a little drop of soap or super glue there just to seal that. This is pretty good here. This all seems pretty tight. This part came out really nice. A little bumpy, but I mean it's not going to affect anything. This in here came out nice. I just need to clean out this excess glue. Back here, I'm probably going to have to do something like this one here, not lay down. I'm seeing that when the glue cools off, it sticks a little better. So we'll play with this and see if we can get that to stay down. If not, I may have to cut that. This side, same thing. I really don't know. See, I can see where the glue came out actually, and I don't like that. I may end up, if these don't go away, what I'll probably do is just put a little dab of silicone up in that hole there just to make sure that that much water doesn't get in there. And all I can do is let it run and we'll see how long it lasts. One thing, it comes off. A bit of work. I thought it was a little more difficult than they made it look in the video for it, but I guess if you do a few of these a week, it'll go a lot easier. You understand where to bend it. The thing here might have been to try to push these in first and bring this all down into here and make that a few more ripples, but it just did not seem to want to go. Alright, that's Keel Eazy. So I threw a little tape on, do like some super glue on there like I said, just to seal up that seam a little better I think. We'll see how that works. Let's look on the other side. You know, out here where it was flat relatively, came out really nice. Came out tight around here. Cleaned up that little bit of glue. Still back here, I don't know if this was just a little tighter than the front, but it just seemed to be like this one here I can't get to go away. So I'm just going to drop a little silicone down in that hole. I have the same thing on the other side. I just feel if I keep working it with the heat, all I'm doing is destroying the glue then. I can see it running out, so. Am I impressed? Not really. I think it works. If it lasts a couple years, I'll be glad. And the big thing is just to take some of there was some deeper scratches. There are deeper scratches right here around this freaking hull line right here, the keel line, and just wanted to give it something, a little protection. Supposedly heat gun, and this will pull pretty much right off. A little isopropyl will clean the glue up, and you're right back to where you started. Problem here is, unlike on a fiberglass boat, you can't do a keel, and it's hard to see. You see there is a fiberglass keel in here, but I went a little different than most people. We'll just leave it exposed, I blended it back into the hull, and this is just wear on it. One day I'll refinish that boat. That boat's taking a beating. Tell you what, current design vision. Expensive for a first boat, but really a great boat to learn in. Stable, fast, plenty of room, easily camped out of. Has a rudder for all those people that are just like rudder freaks. Oh, I got a rudder. And actually, on this boat here, the rudder's like a $200 option on the 14-footer. On the 15-footer, it comes with it. That's the next one. I want to do a fiberglass strip on that one in red. Alright, thanks a lot. Hey, a lot of people jumping on the site. Appreciate that. If you have questions or whatever, ask. Even if you don't see a video for it, just poke a question in the video. Hey, do you do or have or know of or whatever? If I can help you, I'll help you. If I can't, I'll say, oh man, I can't. Alright, you guys have a good day.